All right, on tonight's episode of Python Papi, we're back inside our generative AI course, and we did finish up our project. Let's have a look at what we went over. Now, if you recall, I couldn't actually launch the project because we got a bad file. I'm not going to say a bad file, but we couldn't actually clone the GitHub from the instructor. So I wasn't really focused on running his project. I just want to make sure I had the steps down packed to actually implement in the AWS virtual machine. So when we do have our own applications, we can know how to launch them in the future for future references. So this is that here. We did take some notes. So let's have a look at exactly what we went over, and then I'll show you what it looks like in the VM. So this is the let me see. I don't know exactly where we left off last with the reading, but I'll just skim over some stuff and go over to the machine. So this is how we would do it with the command. This is how we're going to actually run the application. Is the Streamlit run Streamlit app.py. This is an app from the project, so it's not like something that's generic. It's just something that we created, as you can see right here. That's how so Streamlit is actually how we're going to run it, and this is how we're going to call it. So this is what we're calling here. We're calling Streamlit, we're calling the Streamlit app.py with this Streamlit command right here. So running this command will display our app and show that it is running. And when he ran it in his system, it actually gave us two, what do you call it, the IP addresses that and it showed that it was running. So we can actually implement those in our browser and click on them. I think we went over that yesterday slightly, but yeah, that's what happened when we ran the Streamlit. And then to actually get to the application in our browser, we would paste the IP address into our browser. Before we did that, though, we'll have to configure our IP address. And to do that, what did I put the configure construction instructions at? Okay, before we can do this and run it, we have to configure this number. We enter into our browser. To start the configuration process, we'll first go back into our instance. Once inside the instance, we can click on the security button. And again, I'm going to show you this stuff in the VM. I'm just going to read over it first. Once inside the security tab, we will click on the security groups link. Once inside the security groups link, we will locate the inbound rules section. Once inside the inbound rules section, we will locate the edit inbound rules tab and click on it. This way we're going to edit our inbound rules. So once inside the inbound rules section, we will actually keep the type custom TCP. We're going to add our port number in the port range section, and we will keep the source set to anywhere. Now we save the rules. Now once our IP address is configured, we can go back to our browser. And once we enter our IP address in the browser and press enter, we should be taken to our deployed application. So let's have a look now at that, or as much as we can look at. So like I said, I can't run a Streamlit because we don't have access to the actual project. Like I said, I don't know if I imported it wrong over or I cloned it wrong. I'm not sure exactly how, but we are trying to work on someone else's project, so I'm not too worried about it. When we do our own projects, it should be a lot smoother because we don't have to worry about importing anybody else's cloned the repository or anything like that. We'll be working with our own first-hand data. So back to this, we would come over here to the instances, and this is going to be how we configure our IP address. So we would come over here, come to our instances. Once this thing loads up, I can show you the rest. Okay. Then we will go down to security. And you can see that's right here. Click on the security tab. Security tab. We will go down here to the. Let me see what's next. Where's the security groups? Click on security groups. And once in security groups, we will go to the inbound rules, as you can see here. We will click on this button here, edit inbound rules. So once we're inside here, we're going to edit the inbound rule. We're going to add a rule. This is how we're going to add our IP address. We're going to keep the custom TCP the same. Then we will add our port number here. His was 8501. We're not going to actually run. I'm just putting it in so you can see what it looks like. The source we're going to change to anywhere. And then we would actually save this. Save rules. Now, once that's done, we would go back to our instances. Let's go back to our instances. Let's just go back to the instances from here, just to be on the safe side. Now that is updated and upgraded. Our IP address is configured. We will come back here, locate the IP address, which is this one. We would copy this, then we would add the semicolons on the end of it, and then add our port number, and we will put that in our browser. We put it in now just to see what happens. I know it's not going to run or anything, but just to see what happens. So let's do that. Let's open up a new browser there. Control. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that. See what happens. But yeah, that's exactly how we would activate our instances, activate our application. Okay, so nothing came back because actually nothing's running. We didn't run Streamlit, so we don't have anything running to actually address or get into. But yeah, those are the steps we would use to actually activate the application and then get over to it using the IP address. But again, like I said, we don't have access to the project that he's running, so we didn't have a Streamlit to run, so we didn't have any applications running. So we weren't able to get over anything using the IP address. But those are just the steps we would use when we start activating our own applications. I am thinking about just using it on one of my own applications that we already created before outside using the Huggy Face platform. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe I will do that just to see if I can actually do it and do a walkthrough on that. But of course, I will keep you posted. Oh yeah, just to move on, we are done with the project, so we are going to start a new. Where is this thing at here? We are going to start a new module here, and this one is going to be called Vector Databases. This is just pretty much going to be a more advanced version of what we've been doing already. So yeah, and we're going to start that tomorrow. But of course, I will keep you posted every step of the way. For now, it's the Python Papi. You guys stay Gucci.